Hi guys, I'm Sly Guy, and we're back with another episode of Pimp That Pokemon. I want to do another one of these. My first video right here, it didn't really do that good, but maybe if I make this a series, maybe it'll grow on, maybe. I enjoyed doing it, so I want to do another one. If you want to figure out the tier of Pokemon, definitely go onto Pokemon Showdown. That's what people based most Pokemon tiers are based on, is Smogon and Showdown. OU is pretty much the highest tier in the game besides Ubers, and obviously anything goes. And there's only like a couple handfuls of OU Pokemon. And the more you go down, the less competitive a Pokemon gets till you get all the way down to Pokemon that are in the lowest tier, or so bad that they're even below the lowest tier, which is very unfortunate. I'm gonna take a couple of Pokemon and try to make them better by giving them just some small stat buffs, some new moves, possible new abilities, and if a Pokemon needs a lot more help, I'll throw in a Mega Evolution for them. So, let's get started. This is Pimp That Pokemon. The first Pokemon that I want to start off today is Avalugg. Avalugg was introduced in Generation 6, and not a lot of people really care about this Pokemon. It's just a fucking ice table. I actually like Avalugg. I don't know why. I just look at it and say, oh, that's a pretty cool Pokemon. Oh, I want to make Avalugg a lot better. Looking at the Smogon tiering, Avalugg is currently untiered, and it's so bad that it can't even handle PU. But surprisingly, even though that Avalugg is an untiered Pokemon, it can have a niche in OU. Since its defense stat is so high, it can easily be a defensive wall, and it got a pretty good solid move pool. It got Recover for recovery, even got Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards. And if a physical Pokemon doesn't have a super effective move against Avalugg, Avalugg can easily wall it. So it does have a very small niche, but let's make that niche a lot better. So a couple things that aren't so in Avalugg's favor is one is Ice typing. Ice typing is the worst defensive typing in the game, and for Avalugg being a defensive Pokemon, that's a very crippling typing. And also its def stat is incredibly low at 46. If Avalugg takes a super effective like fire attack on the special side, most likely Avalugg is gonna die. And its speed is super slow, so it's obviously gonna most likely take a hit before dishing out a hit. So, what are we gonna do to change Avalugg? I'm only gonna give it a 30 stat buff because I think 40 is a little too much. So I'm just gonna give 10 to its attack and 20 more to its Spadef. Giving it 127 attack gives Avalugg a lot more offensive presence. 117 isn't a bad attack stat, but 117 is obviously better. And Avalugg has access to Curse, so Avalugg, with this, it has more of an option of being an offensive Trick Room sweeper that can set up and wreck a team in Trick Room. I like the sound of that. And then 66 Spadef. It's obviously not a great Spadef stat, but it's a lot more than 46, so it hopefully can take out some more Spadef hits with a more offensive attack stat. It can even run like an Assault Vest and dish out more damage with that Rapid Spin. It can't run recovery though with Assault Vest, so that's the main issue there. But this stat buff gives a little more leeway for Avalugg. New moves. One of my biggest issues with Avalugg is it doesn't have good ice coverage. Its best move is Avalanche. And Avalanche, one, it's negative priority, so this is one of the biggest reasons why Avalugg is not seen in Trick Room, because even in Trick Room, Avalanche is still negative priority. If you run Trick Room, you'll have to run Ice Vein, which is not even 100% accurate, and it's just as weak. I think it's a little bit stronger than Avalanche if you don't take a hit, but still, it's just not that strong enough. So we're going to give Avalugg Icicle Crash and also Ice Shard. Everybody knows what Icicle Crash is. It's probably the best physical ice move in the game, and it even has a flinching mechanic, a flinching opportunity for us. So in Trick Room, Avalugg can flinch fools. Makes Trick Room sweeping a lot more possible. So Ice Shard, if having access to priority, is always a good thing. Priority is never a bad thing, so it can easily pick off low health threats and dish them out. These changes definitely make a sweep in Avalugg much more possible. For abilities, for a new ability, Avalok has Sturdy, which is always a decent ability, but I think it can still be better. I mean, Sturdy is definitely very good if he's taking a physical hit, a special hit, but for abilities, I think Ice Body is its worst ability, so we're gonna just replace that. I got 2 abilities here. I'm feeling more Filter than Regenerator because since Avalok is that Ice type, it has so many weaknesses, that Filter will pretty much make Avalok have no weaknesses, so I'm not sure if that's going to be too broken or not. Its Spadef is very low, so it can still lose definitely to special attack and Mons. So, actually more feeling Regenerator maybe, but these 2 would definitely make Avalok better. Like Filter, giving it no weaknesses, and then Regenerator, switching out and then gaining health back every switch in, so it can Avalok can easily run an Assault Vest set with Regenerator. That's a very common set that Regenerator Mons run, and having all of these changes will just make Avalok so much better. Like, so it already has an OU niche with the stats and moves that it has now, but these stats, I can easily see Avalok finally have a tier to run on, and it can easily have a much bigger use in OU. It can sweep, it can stall, it will stall a lot more better, which will probably make me hate Avalok a lot more since I really hate stalling, and this is a lot more of a stall mon, but I like Avalok, I want to see it better. Next up is unfortunately a Pokemon that doesn't have a niche in OU, pretty much doesn't have a niche anywhere, is Luxray. Now Luxray is also in the untiered tier in Smogon, and for a pretty good reason too. For being a pure electric type, it's super slow compared to so many other electric types. Its physical attack is high, but that's the big problem with Luxray. It's a physical electric type attacker. Those just aren't good, especially with the slow speed stat of 70. It does have good abilities and Guts and Intimidate, but it's just it's a physical electric type where you can't run it. And you can run Luxray on the special side, but 95 special attack is just nowhere near as good as that 120 base attack, so the damage output will not be the same. So Luxray definitely needs some big changes. Everybody loves Luxray from Gen 4, so let's make people who actually like using it competitively and not have die over and over again. So Luxray already has like a big stat output. I don't know what word I'm trying to say here. It has a high stats. It's like 530 something. So it pretty much has like the same stat base as like most of the starters. So I'm only giving it like a stat buff of 20 because 40 will be too much. It'll like almost be at 600 base stat total, which is definitely too much for a non-legendary Pokemon. So I'm just going to give it a stat buff of 20. And I'm bringing 10 to its speed, 10 to its special attack. Having 80 base speed, it's still not very fast, but can't argue it is faster than 70, so it's a lot better there. A much better Scarf option. And then 105 special attack can make Luxray a little more active on the special side, even though like you don't even have to run it on the special side, but still you'll probably most likely run Volt Switch because Volt Switch is such a good move competitively. So you just get a little more out of Volt Switch, which is always a good thing. But the new moves is what's really going to make it better. Well, actually, new moves and abilities is what's really going to make it better. For new moves, I got Zane Zap and Sword Stance. The biggest problem with physical electric type attackers is that the physical options for electric is horrible. You only got 2 options for most electric type Pokemon. First one is Thunder Punch, which is too weak. It doesn't dish out enough power. And then the next one is Wild Charge, which is a more stronger move. It has the same base power as Thunderbolt. But Wild Charge is a recoil move, and having a 90 base recoil move, taking recoil with 90 base power, it's not enough damage to be a recoil base move. If it was the same output as Flare Blitz or like Wood Hammer, then being a recoil move would be more justifiable. But being only 90 base power, and it doesn't even have any other secondary effects. Thunderbolt, 90 base power, no recoil, and it can paralyze. But Wild Charge, no paralyzing option, you just take recoil for it. It's not good enough for a 90 base move, and physical walls can easily stall out a physical attack and Wild Charge user if they easily resist the attack. They will just kill Luxray without even doing anything. So, we need a new electric type move, and one that makes more sense to me is Zain Zap. There is, like, Zekrum's Bolt Strike, and Zeraora's Plasma Fist, but both of those are legendary Pokemon. So let's give it Togedemaru's signature move, because why does Togedemaru get a signature electric type attack? That's really good. Zain Zap is weaker than Wild Charge, but it has a 30% flinch option, which makes it a lot better, in my opinion. Because even though it is weaker, it can still beat more physical stally Pokemon because it can flinch the opponent. So I like it better. A lot better. You're not taking recoil, so it's better in my opinion. You can run Wild Charge as a secondary option if you just want a little more oomph, but I recommend Zain Zap a lot more than Wild Charge. We're also giving it Swords Dance. Luxray has no setup options, which is really annoying for Luxray in my opinion, because 120 is like high, but like in Pokemon nowadays, like we see like 130 attack stats. I mean, we even see them in Generation 1 with like Rhydon, but still, it needs to be higher because a physical wall can easily stall out a Luxray because it can't set up. Give it Swords Dance, it can set up, so even physical walls would possibly have issues trying to wall it out. Then we got abilities here. We're gonna instantly get rid of Luxray's speed issue with giving it speed boost. Now Luxray, like I said before, has 2 decent abilities in Intimidate and Guts. We're gonna give it a 3rd decent ability, taking out Rivalry, nobody uses that, and giving it speed boost. This will instantly make just 1 speed boost, and Luxray will outspeed a lot of a competition. 2 speed boosts are pretty much outspeed anything. This will easily make Luxray better. It will probably have to run Protect, but Luxray doesn't have the biggest move pool, so it can probably like afford to lose it. And then it can run Speed Boost Swords Dance, but then it'll have to run like Swords Dance and Protect most likely, so that will limit its physical presence a lot more. This will give Luxray so many options, but since its speed stat is so low, I still think Speed Boost would be the best ability from Intimidate and Guts. Like, just because like its speed stat is way too low at base 80 if it does get this boost. If it didn't at base 70, it's just way too low. You would have to run Speed Boost on your Luxray. So, even though it has 3 great abilities, Speed Boost is obviously the best one for Luxray. This will definitely make Luxray better. I'm not sure if it will make it like too broken, because Luxray does still have a lot of problems. It's frail, doesn't have the widest move pool, like Sharpedo got speed boost and it's not even way up there. So, it'll definitely probably have a tier of its own with these changes, and that's all I wanted to do for it. So, I haven't gave a Mega yet to a Pokemon, maybe I should. Megas are a big hit in Pokemon. Everybody loves Mega Evolutions, and everybody wants more new Megas. Megas just make a Pokemon that wasn't so good competitively, and just makes it a whole lot better. It gives it a new competitive light. Like, so many people like Mega Lopunny. Nobody gave a crap about regular Lopunny until Mega Lopunny came out. Nobody cared about Mawile until Mega Mawile came out. Now, they do give Megas to Pokemon that quite don't need Megas, like Mewtwo and Rayquaza for one, but most of the time, the Mega is a lot needed. Like starters, for instance, Sceptile, and like crappy Pokemon, but like Sableye. But I hate Mega Sableye because I hate Stall, and Mega Sableye is a big add-on to the Stall format. So screw Mega Sableye. Mega Evolution is a very good flame in the Pokemon games, in my opinion. They give so much light to weaker Pokemon. They give them a big stat buff. They give them possibly new type-ins. Like these 3 right here, some of my favorite Mega Evolutions: Lopunny, Altaria, Charizard. They all give them unique type-ins. And they give like Lopunny with Fighting, Altaria Fairy. And they give fan service to Charizard and gave it the final Dragon type-in. They do add on the Dragon type-in to a little more weird choices like Ampharos and Sceptile. Like, these are really kind of weird dragons. Maybe I can find a better Pokemon that can add the Dragon type into a Mega. Now this Pokemon can get the Dragon type in. Tropious is a very bad Pokemon. It definitely needs a huge buff. Like, just a tiny stat buff is not going to help Tropious out. Tropious definitely needs a Mega. Right at Tropious on Smogon is untiered, and just look at how horrible the stat distribution is. It's not offensive, it's just not bulky enough. It doesn't have a single stat that's above 100 or at 100. That stupid HP stat. Why can't you just get one more stat, get up to 100? Like, man, Tropious stats are horrible. You look at Tropious, this is like the moveset that they gave Tropious. The best that they can do with like this stall substitute leech seed set with Harvest and Citrus Berry. Like, this is a horrible set. This is not going to work at all. Tropious needs a lot of help. So obviously I'm thinking Mega here. I looked up I found this Mega design for a Mega Tropious on Google. I'll hopefully I can find the link in description again, because I have this picture for a long time. But like, this is a pretty cool design. Like, I can see Mega Tropious look like this. So cool design. But what am I gonna do with its stats? Now, I don't really know. You can do a lot of routes with a Mega Tropious, in my opinion. You can most people will probably like make it more stall based. I'm gonna try to make it a little more, give it a little more offensive presence. And since it's mixed physical with special, technically it's mixed physical with tackle. None of its offensive stats at the moment are any good, but special attack is only 4 more stats than its attack stat. But I am going to make it more physical, because it does have a better physical move pool, in my opinion, than special. And I said it before, we're going to go Grass and Flying to Grass and Dragon. Like, Grass and Dragon still isn't the best type, and you still are 4 times weak to Ice, and you're still weak to a lot of other things, but you still resist a little more than Grass and Flying, so it is a better type. And Mega Pokemon get 100, Mega Pokemon get a stat buff of 100 extra base stats. So I'm going to give half of that to its attack stat, going from a base 68 attack stat to a base 118 attack stat. A lot more than 68. Honestly, even though I'm giving it this big of an attack stat, it's still like an average attack stat. But Tropious gets access to Dragon Dance, so it can easily use a Dragon Dance and buff that up. I'm going to give it 10 more defense and 10 more Spadef. So all of its defensive stats are in the 90s, which is pretty good defensively. It's not the best, but still pretty good. I've been giving it 30 more speed at 81. I kind of like this 81 speed stat, because it kind of outspeeds Dragonite, which is kind of what I'm kind of going for a Mega Tropious. I'm kind of going for like a Dragonite-like Pokemon, because I'm changing its ability to multi-scale. I'm replacing Harvest, because obviously when you're a Mega, you can't use Harvest, because you have to hold a berry for Harvest, and if you're a Mega Pokemon, you're holding the Mega Stone. So Harvest is useless on a Mega Pokemon. So multi-scale is a lot better. Tropious has a lot of weaknesses, so it can take a super effective hit pretty good, as long as it gets full health. And this is just a possible moveset that I have. Tropious also has a unique move, the Dragon Hammer, which I think only Alolan Executor and Tropious can learn. I don't know if any other Pokemon can learn it. But Dragon Hammer is a nice move. It's between Dragon Claw, it's in the middle of Dragon Claw and Outrage. So it's more powerful than Dragon Claw, so why would you run Dragon Claw when you can have Dragon Hammer? It's base 90, and it doesn't have no secondary effects, but at least it's base 90 power instead of 80. And then it's better than Outrage because it doesn't lock you out, but if you also needed some extra oomph, Tropious does no Outrage. And then Earthquake, because Earthquake is great. You can also use you can use a grass move, Stab too, but I think Earthquake is better, and also Roost and Dragon Dance. So this is a Dragon Dance sweeper set here. You could like mess with a stall set that has Leech Seed like earlier we sent into Smogon things, but this is definitely not gonna make Tropious like insanely good. Like if this was like the set for Mega Tropious, it probably would honestly be one of the worst Megas in the game still. But at least I can see it in at least the NU tier, which is a lot better than the untiered. And I think people will be perfectly fine with this Mega. Like I was trying to make it better than like Dragonite with being 1 point faster than Dragonite, but then I just remembered, oh, Dragonite has E-Speed. So if it was Mega Tropious versus Dragonite, Dragonite will still probably win. You can do a lot of, but like I said, you can do a lot of things with a Tropious because its stats are just so close together. You can easily like make Tropious like do one specific task. I'm going for a more offensive build, but you can easily make it more of a defensive Mega Tropious by just making its defensive stats go up, giving it more defensive ability. I'm a more offensive type player, so I like more offensive builds better. But that's just me. If you got an idea for a Mega Tropious, let me know down in the comments below. And that's it, guys. That'll be the end of my second episode of Pimp That Pokemon, where I just take about 3 Pokemon and I just try to make them a little bit better in the competitive format by just giving them more stats, new moves, new abilities, possibly a new Mega, and etc. This is my first video right here of Pimp That Pokemon, where I talk about Lady and Whiscash and Octillery. If you're interested to see little stat changes I make on those, I'll put the video in description and then in the sub box, so give it some views. And then if you have any other ideas for Pokemon that I can possibly talk about given us buff, let me know in the comments below. Then, if you like what you see and you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, and I'll see you in the next episode. I'm Sly Guy, this is Bye Bye.